premiere is coming, almost here. How are you feeling about it? I'm sure you got this question a million times.
Yeah, no, I feel great. I mean, it was such a fun season. Yeah. We really had fun last summer, and I think that, you know, it's going to be a really refreshing season for viewers because of how much fun we had.
Right. I think I heard you say that, like, all the girls were kind of back on track.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we all got along, and when the girls get along, the vibes are high, and the energy is good, and you know, the girls, it was really, truly a summer for the girls.
I love that. Yeah. And I love seeing you and Danielle back to besties like you used to be.
Yeah, back to besties.
Was it hard for you to get to that point?
You know, in the beginning of summer, we were like still kind of rebuilding and like feeling each other out. But it didn't take that long for us to just like fall back into our normal bestie behavior, being silly and goofy with each other and wanting to like lean on each other for things. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely got there throughout the summer very quickly. And then, you know, at the end of summer, she was incredible, and she was a great support system for me.
Yeah, definitely. I heard, and Gabby was for you as well, right?
Yeah, I love Gabby. She's, you know, so smart. I love sitting and talking with Gabby because she's just like a really emotionally intelligent woman, and you know, and she's hilarious. So every time, you know, we would sit down to chat, like, you know, I'm cracking up, but also gaining a lot of knowledge.
Sure, definitely. You know, the beginning of the summer was great, end of summer, not so much. Are you going to be able to watch that back, you think?
Yeah, you know, I just keep reminding myself, like, I've already lived this.
Sure.
This is already, it was one of the most traumatic experiences of my adult life, but I have already done it. I've already gotten through it. I've already, you know, done the healing for it. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be moments where I rewatch it and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, this makes more sense now, or, you know, I'm putting pieces of the puzzle together as I watch conversations that happen behind closed doors. And like, you know, I'm sure that it's going to be eye-opening, you know, for many different reasons, but yeah, as long as I just keep reminding myself, like, I've already been through it, and I have so much to focus on right now in my future and, you know, my projects and my new house in Nashville.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's been a really fun project. Yeah. So it's like, I have a lot of great things going on.
Right, and did you feel like you just had to like throw yourself into something new after everything happened?
Well, when you're like, you're in a relationship, you're in a partnership, you're not just thinking about yourself. And especially, you know, my relationship with Carl, it was like a lot of me doing a lot of work for two. We were planning a wedding. It was like, what's our future look like? You know, where are our careers going? And it was just a lot of decision making and tough conversations that I was leading the charge of. And, you know, once I was free of that and only had to focus on myself and the things that make me happy and what I want and on what's on my terms, you know, I feel like I'm in such a good place right now. I'm highly focused. My head's been down.
Right.
You know, and it's stuff that I'm doing to create a future financial success for myself, you know?
No, definitely. I mean, obviously you're not happy with the way things turned out, but in a way, are you? Because it's led to who you are right now, to other projects, and maybe just looking back now and be like, this just wasn't right.
Yeah, I mean, it came pretty quickly to me that like it was a really great decision for me.
Sure.
And even though I'm not the one who made the decision, like ultimately I think it was good for me. And I can focus on like the things that make me happy, and also look for a partner who maybe is more compatible.
Sure.
And that can reciprocate in the way that I can.
It didn't seem, based on the premiere, that Carl was into wedding planning. I hate to use like references to movies or anything like that, but was the wedding bigger than everything? Like, did that ever get in the way? Like, you know, like a Sex and the City reference type of thing. Did the wedding ever get bigger than the two of you?
I don't think so, but I'm also like a former publicist and like, you know, have a high capacity for and experience their own events. So for me, it was just like, you know, we had a lot of help. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't this like crazy experience that was so stressful. Like the wedding wasn't that stressful. Yeah. Like I was the one leading the charge, of course, and doing a lot of the work and heavy lifting. But we also had a big team to help. So it really, I don't think that it was like too big, you know, to really bigger than the relationship.
Sure, yeah. So when it comes down to it, because like you said, you were blindsided by this. And of course there were problems. Every couple has problems. But is there like a moment where you can pinpoint where things shifted between the two of you, looking back at it now?
I would say like the last 2 weeks were really interesting. Like I felt like his demeanor kind of changed and his tone and the way that he was approaching conversations or the way he was speaking to me had all shifted. And I was like, what's happening right now? You know, but it was still not big enough for me to think like, oh, this is bad, you know? Like these are normal conversations that every relationship goes through. And like, especially when you're about to walk down the aisle in 2 months and especially when you're, you know, combining your finances and you have to think about the future family that you want to have and support. So it was nothing like that was so crazy.
Sure.
To, you know, make that kind of decision, at least for me.
Yeah.
But
how do you feel about him now? Do you miss his friendship? Because you guys were friends before all of this.
I don't think I'm there yet.
Not there yet, yeah.
Yeah, no, like I'm at a point where I'm just like, I'm still not there where I miss. I think in the early stages after the breakup, like I remember I went to the Bahamas and I came back and I was crying and I was just like, God, I miss his friendship. And I would talk to my therapist about it. And she was like, yeah, but he showed you who he is. And do you miss, like, what you miss is the idea of someone you once knew. And I was like, yeah, true. Touche. All right. That's that, you know?
Does he feel like a total stranger to you now then?
I think like, I don't know. I mean, call me crazy, but like when you're best friends for 8 years and you are about to get married and, you know, start the chapter of your forever future, you know, you have a little bit of respect for that person. So I think there was like a lot missing in the way that he handled things. Just even like forget me and the relationship, but like just as a friend.
Sure. Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit easier. It made it a lot easier for me to be like, all right, I don't want even like someone like this as a friend to treat me like that, you know? So I don't know. I'm just not there yet as far as trusting that he would even be a good friend.
Sure.
Right now.
I mean, like you said, how he kind of went about it. When he was here, he said, like, I didn't call production to break up with her. Do you still feel like he did?
I just think when you are at that level of a relationship, on a very serious level, about to get married, if you are talking to anybody else besides the person, like, that's messed up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, usually in this situation, like, you're valid in your feelings if that's what you want, but out of respect for your partner, you should come to me first. And, you know, we have an adult sit-down conversation where we make this decision together. That's what the point of a partnership is, right? So I have a lot of, you know, I guess maybe I have more experience in, you know, dating and compromising in relationships and making and having that partnership and doing things together. And I don't know if that's where it went wrong in his mind, but it was strange.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have closure though?
Yeah, I got closure. I found closure on my own, honestly.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've talked about, I did a whole article about this.
No, you did. But no, you did. But I'm glad that you were able to find closure on your own and kind of move on. And
sometimes you have to do that. Like especially with men, like they don't always have the words to communicate and, you know, their feelings. And so you just have to figure it out for yourself. And I have a lot of amazing girlfriends that I can lean on.
Are you dating?
Of course I'm dating.
Anybody? We've seen you out with.
Who did see me out with?
We did see you out with Johnny Bananas.
Oh, gosh.
What can you tell me what the deal was?
I mean, everyone went crazy for that. You know, I have known Johnny for 5 years.
Okay.
We met up for brunch. There was a group of us. And then like brunch trickled into dinner and we lost a couple along the way. Like for me, it wasn't a date. Like I'm just catching up with my friend from a long time. But I guess everyone else was real excited.
People were. And people also were excited that maybe you and Dustin Lynch had something as well. Like, you know the rumors run wild.
I know they do. I can't step outside of my house with a man who, you know, otherwise I'm dating them. But, you know, it's fine. I think people just want to see me happy and it's really refreshing and it's an exciting new chapter for me. And you know, like it's like, okay, who's she dating now? I'm still asking that question. So
nothing serious.
Nothing serious. After you know, you think you know what you want, and you're going down a path to a very serious future. I started reevaluating, like, okay, well, I clearly picked poorly for myself, you know, and now I just really want to find someone who I'm compatible with, who I have fun with. And that's like first and foremost, right? Yeah. And that takes a while. That's like a process. Like it takes a while to like truly know who someone is inside and out. But I'm having fun in that process.
Good. Do you feel like now though you have your guard up a little bit more, or do you think that it's still going to be easy for you to trust somebody?
You know, someone asked me that recently. I don't. I love hard, and I'm a hopeless romantic, and I have a really big heart, and I don't ever want to be jaded because then you're not getting the full version of me, and then we're not going to figure out if we're compatible. So no, like I still believe in love. I'll always believe in love, and like there's a lot more for me, you know, out there.
Totally. No.
There's a big wide world of men.
There really is. You know, I have to get your take on this because I asked Carl the same question if he was dating. He said no, that he didn't think it would be fair to date somebody, you know, as this season airs, and that there were still some entanglements going on. What do you think he was referencing to?
I don't know. I don't know what these entanglements are. I don't know what he's referencing. I mean, who knows what goes on in his head? Like,
but he's not living at the apartment and things like that. Things are done there.
He's not at the apartment. I came home. I went on a trip. I came home right before BravoCon, and all of his stuff was gone. He didn't say anything to me. He never told me. I just was like, okay, well, I guess that's that. Yeah, I don't know. We never even really had a conversation about, which is fine. I mean, obviously, like you can't really like share a space in New York City.
Of course, yeah.
You know, maybe Tom and Ariana can do it because they're in a house and there's more space to maneuver. But in New York City, you can't. So I get that. But there are commitments that come with signing a lease and to an apartment. So. He has to fulfill those commitments.
Staying in New York once the lease is up, or going to Nashville? What are we doing?
Well, sadly, I bought a house in Nashville for everyone else but me. But yeah, I'm all. Once my lease is up, I'll be looking for a new apartment somewhere, somehow. Where should I go?
I don't know. I'm sure you'll figure it out. But you know, one moment in the trailer, because you know it's a trailer. They're splicing everything in. We don't know exactly the context, but I would love for you to tell me the context of Carl saying that you were questioning his sobriety. What was kind of going on there? Because I think a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, you know, that was like a little snippet, right? And I think once you see that episode, you're going to see more of the bigger, fuller story that comes along with that little snippet.
Sure.
And then, of course, everyone's going to have their opinions, right? But at the end of the day, like, this was over summer. I was in love with this man. This was the man I was about to marry. He was my fiance. And any questioning that I had came from love and concern. Sure. You know, as you would with any decisions or, you know, odd behavior from your partner, right? So if you're displaying a little bit of odd behavior, like I'm gonna start trying to figure out where that odd behavior is coming from. But it's only because I love you and I'm concerned about you. So I think once that episode airs and, you know, the full story is developed, then, you know, everyone can have their opinions on it.
Sure. You know, this summer we will be here before we know it. Would you be able to film with him again? I feel like you can handle it, but do you think that he would be able to as well?
I don't know. I mean, again, I can't speak for him and what goes on in his head, but for me, who knows where my head's gonna be at in June, July. I am just like so highly focused on everything that I have going on that I can't even think about summer right now. Like that's like 100 years from now for me in my mind. I'm like, we're just premiering now.
Right, no, that's so true.
We're just looking at last summer still.
Theme parties, I'm sure, are going to be great this season as well. A lot of good ones.
I mean, we always somehow like pull the rabbit out of our hat. Yeah, of course. Like our themes are just so fun. I was just joking with a friend that like I just have bags and bags and boxes of costumes and wigs and costume accessories in my storage. But yeah, there's some epic theme parties.
How are you and Kyle now?
I think we're okay.
We're okay.
I don't know.
I mean, next week.
Yeah. So, sometimes it's a little awkward. Other times it's not. You know, like I think we're just both trying to navigate, like, you know, how to coexist, but also like, you know, Carl's his friend, and you know he's obviously going to be on his friend's side and support him, and just like Danielle does with me or Gabby does with me. So. You know, I don't know, I think we're fine.
Yeah. Were you surprised that Carl went back to Loverboy?
No.
I
think you'll see that play out this season.
We'll see that play out too. Well, Lindsay, I'm glad that you were in such a good place. You are like, I told you before we sat down, I don't think you've ever looked better.
Oh my God,
thank you. You look so good. So get your revenge, girl.
I mean, listen, the revenge body is good, but like just feeling good. And living the life that I want to live is the best revenge.
Definitely.